So, second podcast, going into the history of yourself, so how we've started riding, where we've come from, where we are now, how me and you miraculously met, and then a few stories, a few bits and bobs along the way, riders who you've been involved with as well.
Yeah.
That's a big one. So, right, how are we first of all?
All good, mate, yeah. Nice and cold in here. Nice New Year's Eve.
I'm going to say we'll whack the heater on for about 20 minutes before, but we try. And then anyway, so we'll talk about the team first, how we got on yesterday.
Yeah, we can do, yeah.
So we had a bit of a gathering, didn't we?
Yeah.
Bit of a team meet up, obviously, regards that Sean wasn't there, unfortunately. But yeah, he'll be on his way back now, won't he?
He will be somewhere.
He will be somewhere in the sky or whatever. Anyway, so 12 of us last night.
Yeah.
Nice Indian.
Yeah, nice.
Very nice Indian.
Nice, yeah. Nice to see everybody. Nice to finally get out and discuss things, what we're going to be doing next year and how we're looking to go forward and how this year's been with everyone. So
give everyone a good idea of it as well. And obviously, everyone that was there, we had stories to tell, didn't we? And it's from every round as well. It's just you look back and you just smile, don't you? You're never looking back with bloody disappointment with racing. But say it was a really good first season. So straight into you.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Straight into you. So you started riding bikes. How old were you?
4 years old, I think I was.
4 years old, the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was 4. It would have been 4 or 5 year old, yeah. I'm pretty sure I was 4, yeah.
You were chasing adrenaline by the age of 4.
Yeah.
That's a way to put it.
Early starter.
Yeah. So, whereabouts?
I used to, I had a PW50 at the time. I was obviously a young kid.
Yeah.
We used to just go out up on the tops. My auntie's got a farm up top of Ebden Bridge. On the walk up to Studley Pike, if anybody knows where that is.
West Yorkshire.
Right up at the top of Ebden Bridge. So started up there, going round, flying around lanes, flying around fields, following my brother, following Callum, Nigel's son. So that's the early days of me on a bike.
Bloody hell. So you could just say like top of hills, like literally anywhere.
Literally just in fields, lanes, literally nothing special, just flying about as fast as you can.
Yeah.
As a young'un.
How quick were they going then?
PW50s, not fast.
Not fast.
No, I wouldn't even say 30 mile an hour. I just used to get left for dead. My brother and Callum just used to go just flying off.
I imagine Nath just winding you up. He's real bad for it. But anyway, right. So riding bikes at the age of 4.
Yeah. So I was 4 years old about. Went on the PW50s for a while.
Did you take a move up?
I changed to a Gas 50 trials bike. I tried trials biking out for, I don't know, maybe till I was about 14. I had a Gas 50 and then I later got a geared bike. A Beta 80 was my first ever geared bike.
Wow.
Trials biking, and people that know me, I don't have a lot of patience. So me on a trials bike and being cautious is a little bit of a danger to start off with.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I really enjoyed that, and I actually found out that I was all right if I just stuck to what it was, not trying to bloody motocross jump everything that was in front of me and try and get up logs bigger than me.
Where were you doing trials then?
That was at a place called Bumpy in Leeds, Birstall Way.
Oh, right. Something like you pay for, was it?
It was just on a membership. So we didn't get out a lot, but we got out enough. Do you know what I mean? But
so what were it like old quarry or something?
It was just like, I don't know how to explain it really. It's just a woodlands area with a bit of a stream up it, a big like lane up to the top of a pylon.
Right. Yeah.
It was pretty good, to be fair. It wasn't like out dangerous. It was pretty solid. I liked that up there.
Yeah. So who were going to that with you? Were it just
it was just me, my dad, and my brother. And then
did Nath have one as well?
My brother had a gas 810 and he packed it in because he was too busy playing football all the time. That was about it. And one of my cousins, Chris, he used to come out with us every once in a while, but very rare. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it were good memories there.
Sounds good, mate. And was it more of a summer thing, or can you do?
No, just did it literally
whenever.
throughout the year. I remember one winter, I think it was Christmas time. We went on. It was a couple of days before Christmas, and it was lashing it down, absolutely lashing it down. All three of us came back just brown, just falling over, literally having no grip. It were a nightmare, but it was such good fun.
Yeah. So were your dad doing it with you as well at the time? Was he showing you the ways, like?
Well, I mean, not really showing me the ways as such, but
was it one of them where it just throw you on and be like, teach yourself, son?
Yeah.
Well, that's.
I mean, I'd like to go off and do my own thing as it was.
You're very
anyway.
independent.
Yeah.
Very
so,
independent.
yeah, he'd tell me what to do and I'd take advice on board, but then I'd be like, nah, bugger this, I want to do my own stuff.
Shut up, Stu.
Go and do my own stuff anyway.
Yeah. But so moving on, so what was the first bike meeting you've ever attended?
The first bike? It would have been Alton Park, a club meeting, and with a guy called Martin that used to race.
Do you remember the club?
No, I can't remember the club. I can just remember going to Alton Park.
Yeah.
A guy called Martin.
How old were you?
I would have been about 6 or 7-ish.
6, 7.
Yeah.
Similar age to mine.
Him and his dad used to go off racing, and they used to borrow one of my dad's old vans.
Right.
So they'd go out in that, and then obviously we'd go over because we'd be involved in motorbike racing anyway. So
yeah,
we just love it. Just good fun, to be fair.
So what bike was he on at the time?
I think he was on a Suzuki 600.
Suzuki 600.
I can't remember. You'll have to find out.
I'll speak to Stu.
My dad will know.
Stu. But yeah, so was that where you first got were you watching the starts, or were you just
literally just corners, to be fair. I just used to go down to Cascades and watch at Cascades.
Awesome,
yeah, absolutely mega.
And that's the thing for anyone that maybe hasn't been to a race circuit before. If you're to go and you actually realise how close you get to it.
Yeah.
And I like to say to people, you don't understand until you've been studying, Hall Bends, where you can literally just stand and mate, that's
where you get the real idea of how fast.
I thought I got a real good one of you as well. I think it was the last corner of Alton just before you go into Lodge.
Oh yeah.
But what corner is that called? Do you remember?
We're
awful.
I'm awful.
I keep. Sorry, I shouldn't be asking, but anyway. So yeah, it was real good. And then for the sake of how close you can get, obviously the thrill of it as well, because start finishes. Obviously, until you get to a similar age of me and you, I think you've got. Is it over 16 or over 18? You've got to be.
I'm not too sure, to be fair.
To be on actual pit lane.
Oh, 16.
Yeah. And then obviously, if you're to watch, right, or if you're to even stand there, obviously hear the thousands do a start, or then if you want to laugh and if you want to choke yourself out, watch the 250s do a start.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome, to be fair. And then so you've gone. So your dad that we're taking you to these.
Yeah. We'd just jump in car, me, Dad, Sean, my brother, sometimes Nige. We'd just literally just go off and just watch this lad racing.
And say, were you more involved within the team? Were you doing jobs like tyres?
I mean, no, not really. It wasn't really a team back then. It was literally just
a day out.
Just a day out.
Yeah. So obviously, when was it that you've started to not pick up a role in a way, but where you think, oh, I'll get a bit involved,
That was further down the line. That's when we started with a proper team and everything got a little bit more serious.
Got a bit more serious,
all that sort of carry on.
So early days in the paddock then. So do you remember more of track, or do you have better memories of road? What are you saying?
To be fair, I've got good memories in both, to be honest. But I do prefer the road racing side of it, because that's where I've grown up, and that's where everything really first started for me, and that's where I got a proper thrill from Summit. So
were you with a team when you say you go?
Yeah. So Dad had started up with a bunch of lads from down the valley, who we're still involved with now.
Who's that? Nige.
There'd be Nige, Sean, and then a few others. Neil used to come back then as well.
Oh, and then Jack as well.
Yeah, and Jack with his wild quiff.
Who sat on every bike.
So yeah, that's when everything started as being a big scheme of things, and we started to get sort of like bigger and see that like the racing paddocks are as a vast is a vast place, to be fair. And yeah, that's the early memories of me being in a paddock is probably at Oliver's Mount.
Yeah. So Oliver's Mount, and then say have you been to like Ireland and stuff, the Irish racing, or
I haven't myself, no, but everybody else involved in that. I'd have been too busy at school back then.
Yeah, too many days off.
Yeah.
Dentist trips.
Mm.
But say anyway, so yourself, so you remember Oliver's Mount? You've been to TT?
Yeah, I've been to the TT.
How many
Yeah,
times you been?
just spectating though. I've never
Spectating.
been as involved with the team.
Yeah. So how old were you?
I would have been about 14.
14.
I've been there twice. I actually, the second time I went there was when the senior was meant to start and it was raining. That was that year.
Right.
So yeah, I haven't been back to the TT since then, which
Yeah.
would have been like 2017 or something like that.
But we've always followed it.
Oh yeah, always follow
Every
it.
time.
Yeah, every time, yeah.
And say like, do you have any personal favourite riders around?
Jamie Coward.
Jamie Coward.
Jamie Coward.
I wonder why. So we'll move on to that. Obviously, riders who we've been involved with. But anyway, so say track racing. As a young lad, were you watching BSB or MotoGP? Obviously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, as a young kid, I used to watch literally anything. So I'd be watching MotoGP, BSB, Speedway. We used to go and watch Speedway every once in a while. Yeah, Bellevue. Yeah, fucking love Speedway. Absolutely amazing, mate. Not like a bit of Speedway. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
So yeah.
We brought the no swearing rule. Oh well, passion. But anyway, so BSB. How old were you when were you understanding it, or were you just watching it?
No, literally just watching it. I think I picked up most of the racing knowledge actually being in a paddock and just learning stuff as everything just went along. Do you know what I mean? So,
and we're talking about the early days in the paddock at the minute. Were it just pure club, or were it BSB?
Just club, I think, at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't think your dad had anything involved in BSB back then, did
he? He did, but that was later on.
Separate thing, mate. Yeah. So moving on. So I've gone through the early days in the paddock in a way. So memories from both, obviously track, and like. So how many tracks were you going to averagely a year? Were you going to many meetings?
I'd literally just. I mean, the Alton Park sort of like went quiet. So then we'd more focused on going to Oliver's Mount, and that's when obviously the team had originally started.
Yeah.
And that's when Jamie Coward started riding for the team.
Yeah.
So I'd be going over there. Well, whenever all the meetings started again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so yeah.
So that's when Oliver's Mount as well. They had a lot going on back then, didn't they?
Yeah,
Compared
they did.
To like so now, it's like everyone talks about Oliver's Mount now. But then luckily there's been a recent Facebook post, haven't they, that they're coming back with their own championship, which is mint to hear.
Yeah.
But say like back then, that's when they had their own championship. They had the, what do they call it, Cock of the North?
Yeah.
Is it the
Gold Cup?
Gold Cup.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if they involve that within the championship or what. But yeah, say it's a good place, isn't it? And for the sake of I've been once, and say I absolutely loved it, and for the sake of like how compact it is as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can talk from the paddock side of things. I was only a spectator that day.
Yeah.
But say like the start finish is the tiniest thing I've ever seen, and like for talking like on a grid, I'm thinking for you to compare like Silverstone, how wide is that?
Yeah.
And then Oliver's Mount, you literally like crammed in away. But yeah, mental, mate. And then obviously like for the sake of that circuit as well, if you want to speak about it for more, how it's very up and down.
Yeah.
Like for the first corner, you're going up, hairpin, up again.
It's literally just a public road.
Yeah.
Just a little bit smaller than the TT or
and then
some of these other Irish rounds that they go to.
Yeah. And then obviously like for the sake of it as well, like Apex is like people won't realise obviously if you're just into track racing, but it's like these riders are literally putting their knees down on curbs. They've got the helmets brushing past brick walls, buddy. What else? Bushes. It's mental for the sake of it, man. But then on the other side of things, you can obviously crash into that.
Yeah.
Dangerous for that regard.
It's not so nice.
Not so nice. The sport's a bit evil, but yeah. But But yeah, it's a very it were awesome when I went. I think I were about 13, 14, and the back section we were stood in the forest, and the speed they're going over them bumps, man. Jesus.
Something next level, innit?
And you're absolutely baffled me. So I've been watching, so I'm about 14, so I've been going to racing then about, 6 years. And then in warm up, I think the sidecars and the bikes go out at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what? I'm like, eh? Oh, dead confused. But yeah, so road racing, the circuits ran as well. I think it ran really well. And then, like, obviously, like the ambulances and stuff, and people who know the TT very well, they don't just cover obviously for the riders, but on the night as well, spectators obviously getting about and moving times during the day. But yeah, it's mint. So right, moving on to riders who've been involved with. Do you remember the likes of? So obviously you went when you were 7 years old, and that rider were at Alton Park. What was his name?
Called Martin.
Martin. So moving on from that, is there like there's obviously year 19 now. How many riders are we talking?
There's a few.
There's a few. Should we just if we keep peppering through, we'll get a number. So who were after Martin? Do you know?
So it was then Jamie Coward. Jamie Coward started up with obviously the team.
What was the team called back then?
It was called Hotties Thermal Packaging. I think that was there. Yeah. So that lasted for a couple of years, and then I don't even know how long it was. I don't know.
Say how long were we? Do you know?
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
For about 2 or 3 seasons, or
yeah, something like that.
Because obviously Nigel and everyone, when they're showing like obviously the likes of Jamie photos, obviously Michael photos, which we'll get onto, which everyone was so proud for the sake of it were a private team, wasn't it? And you were giving the likes of, was it Tycho?
Yeah, Guy Martin and Michael Dunlop a run for the
like money. These would turn around like, look at these. But yeah, like honestly, like for the sake of that, and like the achievements of you all as well. But say like moving on then, was it with Jamie you were the fastest newcomer?
I think so. Yeah, I can't really remember all the history. I was about 8, so
right. I'll go into that with them. we'll wait. But
we'll divert it to then.
But say so, were it just the Suzuki bike you were on? With Jamie? Was it Suzuki?
Yeah, it was a Suzuki. Yeah.
L2, I think it was.
Something like that.
Nigel was telling me last night. That's why I'm a bit knowledgeable right now.
All right, bloody hell.
I know, I've picked up a bit. But anyway, so I think it were an L2 Nigel was on about. I hope I've got this right. And then he was just saying it was so funny for the sake of you're lining up on the grid, or like you're getting ready to go out and it's just Nigel and Stu stood. I think when you first started, obviously like you were near the back or whatever, and then now all of a sudden you've got everyone eyes on you thinking who are them, where they come from. And yeah, it was mental, but say, you got on well with Jamie, didn't you?
Yeah, I loved being around Jamie. He's a top guy, to be fair. Yeah. We always used to have a laugh with his mum and his sister, so yeah, it was good.
Really respectful family as well, from what I've heard of. All really nice guys.
Yeah.
And then say for the sake of him now as well, obviously we've got him on the Facebook page, we've got his racing, obviously showing support for each other there, and then for the likes of yourself and your dad, you've still got his number, haven't you? Still in touch.
Still in touch with Jamie, yeah.
So you know when you started racing, did he give you any advice or how?
No, to be fair, I mean, I could call him and ask him, but
does he have much track experience, or he's just pure
Yeah,
road?
no, he does a little bit of track racing as well.
Yeah, so but you obviously just got him up and running on the road, way, didn't you? So moving on, who are next?
Michael Pearson.
One
of the most absolute ambitious guys you will ever meet on a motorbike. He would literally, I don't even know how to explain it. For people that have watched Michael Pearson ride a motorbike before, they will just know what I'm talking about. He was just
left everything out there.
Something else, mate. Yeah. Something else.
Were it before, like, could you just see him, like, buzzing?
Yeah, it was just like, I don't know, it's just like, he'd get into his own zone before a race and he'd be sitting there and I'd be probably fucking prattling about, just running around somewhere.
Punching him or something, winding him up.
Just winding him up before he's about to start a race, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, it's just how we just managed to stay so composed and how we managed to fight with the likes of Guy Martin and Michael Dunlop and all them big names.
Like, we're a private team with Michael again,
yeah.
So, what team was that?
He ran with Hotties as well, and then a short while after it changed to Northern Escalators, where more riders got involved. Yeah, and it just spread out.
So if we're to keep on Michael, then did you do the TT?
No, Michael didn't do the
Michael
TT.
didn't do the TT.
No.
Were you just pure Oliver's Mount?
It was Oliver's Mount, Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Yeah, Ireland.
Whereabouts there?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
When obviously I'm very into racing, but all I can think of Czech Republic is it Bruno. But I know obviously you won't be going there with him.
I'll try and remember. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
If I can remember.
That's ace. That. So you've obviously Oliver's Mount and everywhere else, but Mint.
Yeah.
Mint. So then obviously that we're on the same Hotties bike. And I'm ashamed.
That would have been on the Northern Escalators bike that after.
On Northern Escalators.
Yeah, it will have been.
Oh, did he move over like?
Yeah, he moved over with the team as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So did he pair up with anyone when you moved across to a team or?
I think with Northern Escalators
bikes.
there was four riders. There was Michael Pearson, Gav Hunt, who used to race at BSB, Stock 1000, Max Wadsworth, Thundersport,
Mint,
and British Supersport.
Still is now.
And Nico Marwini, GP1 and 600 at Thundersport and Stock 1000 at BSB, and Alex Eaton as well.
Alex Eaton.
I missed that one off. But Alex went with the Northern Escalators.
He was Seadrift.
Yeah, he was Seadrift.
But so we'll start back. So Michael has just moved into the team with Gav Hunt.
Gav Hunt, yeah.
So was that just a two pairing?
Yeah. I can't really remember how it was. There was just so much going on within.
Was Gav Hunt was he either track or was he road?
Oh no, he was British Superstock.
He
was just British Superstock, yeah.
So again, you've moved from road racing there to just straight.
There was just a straight diverse setting of different riders throughout that whole team, to be fair.
And how old were you at this time?
Oh, about 10, 11.
10, 11.
Probably not. Yeah, I'd have been about 11 actually, yeah.
And that's when you were moving with Gav Hunt to BSB?
Yeah.
So were you understanding it, or were you just there to be there?
I was just there to be there again, to be fair, yeah. I remember doing a couple of club meetings with Gav as well and going down with my dad.
And what stock bike was that on, was it?
It was a Kawasaki Stock 1000, that.
Kawasaki Stock 1000, Jesus. So you're a good rider?
Yeah, good rider, Gav. Yeah, good lad, yeah.
Same respectful.
That's
the thing with all the lads, obviously. For I know I know your dad, I know Nath, so I know your mum, I know Nige, Sean, Mark. All these people wouldn't give these riders the time of day if they weren't genuine people. That's what I've realised, because they're so down to earth nice, and they wouldn't waste time on the likes of time wasters or people who are just trying to use you. But yeah, it's really good for that sake. And Mint. So moving on, so you got Gav Hunt. How long were you with you for? Do you know?
It will have been a couple of years again.
I
can't really remember how far. My head goes back, not that.
Do you remember? Were you good? Were you up and
It was
running?
all right, yeah. To be fair.
What were you, top 10s or?
Yeah, top 15, top 20 every race.
All right.
Respectable.
Within the points. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were his first season just straight flat?
No, he'd been racing for a couple of years before.
Oh right.
So,
This is when we joined him up. And,
yeah.
He joined the best people. Yeah. So, moving on. So Gav Hunt from Superstock, and then you had the likes of Michael.
Yeah.
So did they both, in a way, drop out at the same time, or?
I think Michael had a crash in Europe, and broke his back, and he wasn't in the best way. So he just said that were it for him. Gav Hunt ended up stopping because his dad had a crash on the island because he was a travelling marshal. So Gav now stopped racing because he's got time to look after his dad. So yeah.
So then moving on from that, unfortunate, obviously what you've said, we move on to Max. And that was straight from the sport, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was from the sport. That. So he ran alongside with Nico. They was both on 600s. I think back then they was on Kawasaki ZX6s.
And I think this will clash where me and you actually first met, won't it?
I think you'll come a little bit after that.
A little bit after. Two
because
years,
we were Seadrift. We was Nico. It was Nico's like first time out on the bike with us at Rockingham.
What colour were the bikes back then?
It was just white then.
Just white?
Just straight white, I think.
Straight white.
It was either white or it was deckled up. I can't really remember.
Yeah. So then, obviously, for people who knew back then how mint Thundersport was.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's when the likes of Grid Girls were about.
Yeah.
They had a good TV and everything, didn't they? It were awesome, to be fair. And it's always, all the way through, been official, been marshalled, mint. And then, say, like, the racing's always been mega as well. If you also have to, like, some marshals, or say, my dad. And obviously, like, going back then, it wasn't just every grid. It where you were just looking forward to the 600s and 1000s. You had the likes of the super teams. You knew it were a dogfight from the likes of bloody Super Twins, Mini Twins, and then bloody Street Fighters as well. And every grid was packed on it.
Yeah.
So then, obviously, they were both in the 600s at the time. Good lads, weren't they?
Yeah.
Mint.
Absolutely mega.
They got on as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Nico just got on with anyone.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved meeting Nico. He were awesome. And same Max as well, top lad.
Yeah, top absolutely lad. Amazing lad, to be fair. And you can't really knock them.
No.
They're both,
again, genuine people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we're me and you, we can say we're still in touch with them as well. We've got Nico and we've got Nico following the Facebook. We've got Nico following both our Instagram, showing support. He's a mint guy. And then obviously Max as well, so it still follows along, still that's how we're doing. So good that everyone's still interested.
Yeah.
It's not like we've left anyone on bad terms, is it? We're still respectful for every regard. And then so then they've been with you so Nico were with you for quite a while.
Yeah.
Nico, he moved on to 1000.
He moved on to 1000, going to British Superstock.
Because I remember on 1000 at Thundersport as well first.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think he did I can't remember how many rounds he did. He might have done a full season. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
And then he went and did a couple of rounds at British, and then the team actually folded. And then I think that's when Max had diverted off to go and do his own thing. So yeah, that's how that happened. And then obviously from when I left school, I went out and just went and spent the weekends away with Max and just going to Thundersport meetings, really.
Yeah. And then obviously, like, for Nico as well, obviously when he moved up to the 1000, was he on the 600 or was it the 1000 when he went to Anglesey?
The 1000.
And how much did he win that race?
I think he won by about 30 seconds.
Won by about 30 seconds. I think it's the biggest win I've ever seen. And oh my God, it was absolutely, if anyone knows, if you've been to Anglesey, you either get absolutely awesome blue sky weather or it just rains.
Yeah, I think it had just stopped raining.
And oh my God, Nico in the wet.
Yeah.
It was something else, wasn't
he? Yeah.
But yes,
absolutely amazing.
Absolutely top guy as well. And then his confidence just never knocked, did it?
No.
And obviously I've known him, I've seen him for a lot of years, and they've both been through crashes, haven't they, as well? These lads just kept getting up. But yeah, mint lads, both of them. And then with Max as well. You know the bikes that you're talking about when them two were in the 600s, what were they both Kawasaki's at the time? Yeah. And then what year were that?
I can't remember.
You can't remember. Do you remember your age?
No, I'd have been about 10.
About 10.
Yeah.
So mint. And so moving on from that then, so should we get into yourself?
We can do, yeah, if you want to.
Go on then. So, getting into yourself, how did you start racing?
So for me, obviously I'd been around bikes and I'd ridden bikes before. It was kind of a little bit strange, to be fair. I would just went out one Sunday morning and literally I just jumped on a Husqvarna 85 supermoto bike at Fat Cats in Doncaster. Started going every weekend because I enjoyed it. And then I found out that I actually quite like this and it's good fun and I'm not too bad at this.
Yeah, because you were knocking about when you were going. Storm Stacey.
Times. Storm Stacey would be there.
Young local lad as well. What's he called?
Harley McCabe.
He's recent, but yeah. Say you told me about him. Awesome, isn't he? He's doing well at BSB. But yeah, say so you were going Fat Cats very often.
Yeah.
I remember pretty much every weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you just pack the van, and even yourself now, obviously you're driving and stuff. You go yourself. You're like, right, I'm off.
Yeah.
And say Mint, and obviously it's a good way to keep fit as well, and obviously keep warm with a bike and keep your head screwed on. But yeah, so going from that then, I'm obviously for every racer, you've got to have sponsors.
Yeah.
So for you to start racing, how did this come along?
I think it was just like it was just an idea that I wanted, and it was something that I was trying to push. So Dad went out, bought us a Kawasaki 300, and was like, "That's it, let's go. Next round. What's the next round? Oh, it's Anglesey, Mint track, place that I've been before.
We love it, don't we?
Yeah. Just went out to Anglesey, had a good weekend on that, and that's how it all just started.
Was it a successful first weekend?
Yeah, it was, to be fair.
I can't really remember how you got on.
Oh, yeah, you were part-timing again, I forgot.
Part-timing, yeah.
Yeah, actually. I think I got 2/3 and Rider of the Day.
I remember that.
Got the Rider of the Day on my first ever race meeting.
Yeah.
First day of my race.
That's awesome, isn't it? And that's when your dad was like, "Hey, up, this might be more than 1 round." Shit. But anyway, yeah. So obviously, so your first race meeting then, was that Nigel as well? Was Nigel?
No, it wasn't, to be fair. I think it was...
Did we not persuade him by then?
No, I think Nigel's only just started this year because I asked him to do this year.
We basically give him a kick up the arse and he said, "Look, stop going fishing, come with us." But yeah, awesome.
So yeah, it started off pretty well, to be honest. I enjoyed it, and then we jumped from... it was Anglesey, and then a couple of weeks after it was Alton Park. Did the test day at Alton Park, and within the first 2 sessions my bike had blown up, so we missed that out. And then we ended up actually having to buy another bike because my engine wouldn't be built in time for the last round. So we went out and bought another Kawasaki 300, which I then raced on this year at Bemsey.
You had to go, where did you go? You
went all the way down to Brighton. All the way down to Brighton. No, we went from home to go and pick a bike up, and then we had to go to MSS to go and pick my fairings up, which was on the other bike, and then come back home again.
Mad.
It was an absolute trek.
Was it worth it?
It was worth it, oh yeah.
Well,
I did get out for Cadwell Park.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was there for Alton, because obviously I was on the way with Nath one night.
Yeah.
And then Stu went, "Oh, you're looking forward to watching Sam K?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I watched you before, have I?" He went, "Oh, well, that's a shame." I went, eh? And he went, "Oh, well, it's just blew up." I was like, "No." But yeah, we watched Max for the weekend, didn't we? And that were again awesome.
Yeah.
It was good. Finished first every race day, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But say moving on, so you've gone from Alton Park, head up your ass a bit. You're bit disheartened, weren't you? Obviously, bad luck. And obviously you don't get your money back for that sake either, do you?
No.
Because you've just got to put your race entry in, regardless what happens. If you go on the test day, if you go on after race 1, it is what it is. And then so I've moved on to Cadwell.
Yep, Cadwell Park, which was good fun. Freezing cold, but good fun.
Cold,
nice and wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
good fun.
Obviously, for people who are going to be watching the first podcast as well, you enjoy wet racing, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't really affect you for that sake. Doesn't scare you off.
No. Still
go for it the equal amount. So moving on. So you've done 2. You can argue you've done 2 full rounds, haven't you?
Yeah.
Half a test
at the back end of 2021.
And then to where we are now.
Yeah.
Sat doing a podcast, a season review, and yeah, here we are. But say like, you're surely proud of yourself.
Oh yeah. I've never thought. Well, I mean, to be fair, as a little kid, all I ever wanted to do was race motorbikes competitively, and that's what I've done. I didn't really care what level I'd get to, or what standard I would be, if I would be good or bad or literally whatever. All I was bothered about is really racing on a motorbike track and bothered to get my knee down. That's all I've ever wanted to do.
And then now we've got each other, buddy, right? Because I always go like that. That's how far your elbows off, innit? But yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've ever really wanted to do is race motorbikes, and here I am. We're doing it.
So here we are now then. So we've got the podcast going. we've got social media up and running, we've got everything going, we've obviously got the clothing. And then for the likes of next season as well, because I obviously don't think this got mentioned, but we're going to be changing a bit of colour, aren't we?
Yeah.
Obviously to do with the bike as well. We're still Kawasaki's. For people who haven't watched previous podcasts, 636's, got 2 of them. And then, so colour-wise, going a bit of red, aren't we?
We're going, so my colours have got, there's an orangey red.
Orangey red.
That's like bright.
Right, okay.
The bright orangey red colour. We're going a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Some grey, I think, or silver, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Black and green. So yeah, there's plenty of colours out there.
Plenty of colours.
Just got to pick and choose which ones you want.
We were distinctive, weren't we?
Yeah.
And obviously, like, I think by the time this podcast will come out,
I think it might already be done by the time
already
this
be
is
done.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and the levers might be here as well.
Levers as well, yeah. I need to post that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here where we are now, where we're moving on to. Should we go back to where we met?
We can do, yeah. Take a step back in time.
How many years ago? This is what we argue, don't we? And
I can't remember, to be honest, Kieran. It must have been 2013.
13, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that'll be 9 years.
And Rockingham.
Yeah.
Rockingham, wasn't it?
Rockingham.
And I was just
Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a look on the From the Spots website.
Yeah.
To see the results.
Because I think I can remember the results as well.
Yeah.
And obviously coming back because with Max that had that massive... or was it Nico that did his ankle, or was it Max?
I think that was a year after that.
The year after?
Yeah.
God, that's a memory from 2014.
Because it was wet, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mad. But
It's
like,
all changed anyway.
It's all changed, and then obviously for the likes of back then, that's where I think you had the big white truck.
Yeah.
And
it might have been black back then. Oh no, it wasn't. It was white. It was white.
And you had the sake of me, you, Harry.
Yeah.
Young lads just bloody playing hide and seek, getting in the way of everyone, flipping tyres, all sorts. Oh, it were awesome, wasn't it?
So absolute coincidence. It was absolutely scorching that weekend at Rockingham, wasn't it? Kieran had a paddling pool and he was sat outside caravan with his mum and his brother and some other people. Sorry. And just by coincidence, I was red hot as a young kid. Like, can I get in that pool? I am red hot. Can I get in that pool?
Yeah.
And did I get in that pool?
Yeah, you just sprawled yourself in it. I'm just stood there, or whatever.
So yeah, it's literally all just started from there. Just asking if I can get in his swimming pool.
Yeah.
Which sounds a bit odd, but
you know, but we're here today. You've got a girlfriend, so that's all right. Well, she's gonna find out now. She might be jealous. Anyway, but yeah, like, and obviously ever since, I don't think I were at that age back then where I like, I'll have your number, we'll keep in touch. And I think it would. I
think we just carried on bumping into each other at race
obviously that was Thundersport, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is for the sake of, from my background. Obviously, got like my dad has been marshalling God knows how many years. I think. Should we go through like similar to what you did to you, like my first meeting and stuff?
Yeah, can do.
So obviously, like my dad, I think it was Cadwell Park, and this must have been. You remember when Derby Phoenix were around?
Mm-hmm.
That's an old name, and for people watching, they might be watching with a smile and thinking, "Oh my God!" But say like, and that were awesome, to be fair, and it was a really good meeting, and for the sake of like obviously watching at the grandstand them out in the first time, and it was just a single grandstand now.
Right, yeah.
Back then, and say it were really good racing. Then for the sake of that, I don't know how. I think it's just the way marshals talk or whatever. And my dad got introduced to like so obviously Thundersport, Benzie. He were marshalling wherever he could go. I'd obviously go along, watch, and then for the sake of it, and then obviously got involved myself like the sake of you guys and. Awesome, mate. Yeah. And like for the sake of now, and like obviously like back then, and obviously like watching, and it were all right. And for the sake of it, and it were like a few years, I like not fell out with it in a way, but I just absolutely lost the love because obviously we were going and like the grids were gradually getting worse and worse. Obviously, rider progression, people go up to BSB. Mm-hmm. Some people just simply can't afford it and stuff. And that's obviously a shame. But yeah, and then like for now, say like for the role that we've got in the team and stuff, and say for the sake of you, and that's what I mean. It's like we're practically best mates out there, fucking out talking every day, and then obviously like from racing, and obviously from Rockingham, we just kept bumping into each other, and and we followed followed each other ever since. And I think it come to actual a surprise with me. I've always knew like we've both had the aspiration of obviously wanting to race. We're both obviously, and it's been a dream. And then obviously like, for you to do it and to do it in the way you have as well. And it's like to be like, it's like in a way it's like my dad compares it to like Valentino Rossi and his best mate. And I'd just be in the garage every time and everyone would be like, oh, what do you do? I'd be like, I'm his best mate, I'm here. And like, yeah, I'd be knocking about, but say like it's meant for that regard. Obviously, like, as I said, I think it was on Facebook, it's like in a way we travel England and make memories everywhere we go. And it's not just for the sake of like Cadwell Park over the Humber Bridge or Alton Park, which is an hour and a half away. We've got Anglesey. Obviously, like for next year as well, could possibly be Pembrey, could possibly, and obviously Brands Hatch as well. It's everywhere, mate. And for the money side of it as well, it's like you realise once you're actually within a team, like as a spectator, you can turn up and you're like, oh yeah, that bike might cost a bit and stuff. But then it's like now that I'm actually part of the team and stuff, and you realise how much fuel's costing to around, how much fuel you take.
That's where sponsors come into it, and everything gets a little bit more scarier on that side, and where you've got to go out and look for support. And, and it's just
because you in a way it's like as well for myself, like when I'm asking for the sake of sponsoring you and sponsoring the team, it's like you sell a dream, but then obviously like inside they've got to think, oh yeah, this will get me a bit of recognition as well.
Of course.
And they do, and obviously for the sake of what we're wearing right now, it's paid off, hasn't it? And then obviously like for the members wise as well, obviously for next season, we didn't speak about it in the last podcast, but we're going to be doing a lot more hospitality, aren't we?
So we'll have a hospitality tent set up next to the truck, which is going to be separate to our awning, but it'll be within the same parameter of everything else.
So like in a way, we've got Mark, who's going to be like the main man for that in a way. And then obviously for the sake of me as well, because I obviously said like I'm having to do obviously next year's plans for every round. We're going to be doing race blogs. We're going to be doing interviews with yourself. Interviews with Stu. Interviews possibly me as well. You could flip the camera and be recording me. And then say for the sake of like obviously getting the mechanics interviewed as well, we'll be doing that at race meetings. More podcasts, more talk shows for everyone to listen to. But then for the sake of the hospitality, Mark's obviously going to be running it. He'll probably supply food. Obviously, we'll have like pictures of you, pictures of sponsors up. Because obviously, we'll have companies coming down, won't we? So we'll make sure they're big and everything. And then during the day, they'll be able to see, like, you'll obviously go to them before a race. You'll introduce yourself. You'll obviously say how you're feeling, what's your goal for that race, and so on. And then obviously, like for where the team are, like not in a way keep them out of the way of the team, but just make sure like they're not, you're going out or we've got people crossing the tent and stuff like that. But say Mark will be meant for that regard, and he'll keep everyone in check. And for myself as well, obviously like, I'll be keeping in touch with them. I'll introduce them obviously to your team, and obviously the mechanics as well. We're not unsociable people, are we? No. We are the most talkable team probably in the paddock, and we're too nice not to get along with. But should we call that a day?
Yeah, we'll call that that.
Call that a day. So this is podcast 2, over and done with. Again, thank you for everyone for listening. Thank you for the support, sponsors, for everyone that we've gone through and the memories that we're making. It's only going to get better, innit? But Mint, thanks everyone.
And cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. We'll leave that to you next time.